Hey, I just I'm coming back from a seller's appointment or appointment with the seller right now.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it went pretty good. I didn't get signed contract, unfortunately. Um, but I just had a question because like it went good. Like I built pretty good rapport with the sellers. It was
Yeah.
two brothers. It was a probate situation, and I mean, like it seemed like we're getting along pretty good. But the house was hasn't hadn't been updated in 50 years. Pretty
Wow.
pretty bad shape, and like they knew it, and so like they knew it was in bad shape, but when it
Hmm.
got the price, like I wasn't able to leverage that very effectively and to bring them down on price, and it kind of seemed like they're sort of delusional, and that's why I wasn't able to
Yeah.
get the deal
So
real.
what price did they spit out to you?
So they said they got an appraisal that was around 240, and they also had realtor. They apparently had some realtors come around and say that they could sell it for 240. So I mean, in their head, that's what they thought they could get it for. But
So what do you think it's worth?
my MAO was 180.
Yeah.
I did the
Fair.
what's it called? Good cop, bad cop. I think I offered 150 at first, and of course they
Yeah.
scoffed at it. And then I try to go up to 165, and they scoffed at that too. And I was just like, all right, you guys are.
So when they say scuff, were they like laughing at you or what were they doing?
They're just like, oh no, no way, no way. And like
Yeah.
it just seemed like it really wasn't, like maybe it's just delusional, or maybe I just didn't like hammer home the condition of the property enough. I couldn't really tell, but
So listen, the property's motivated, just your sellers aren't. And I would have gone to the appointment too, because you always have a shot with it, but the damn thing hasn't been updated in 50 years. I promise you when they put it on the market, the market's going to shame them for it.
right.
And number two, I love when a realtor says, oh, I can sell it for like 240. I always say, listen, at the end of the day, how much do you want to take home? Because what a realtor lists it for and what goes in their pocket on a probate, it's usually complete night and day.
Yeah.
So you're talking about net numbers to them. They're talking about gross numbers. And a lot of times, like when I get pinched, when I used to be younger on the probates, this exact one, and they go, no, the realtor said they could list it up to like 255. I'm like, I would look around and I go, I tell you what, here's what I would do. If that realtor says they can get you 255, list it for 255, give them a 30-day agreement and tell them it's 255 or the highway. You know why? Because it's never going to sell for 255. And they're going to get pissed off after 30 days in the market and the realtor's going to look like an idiot. I don't really do that anymore because, listen, the bottom line is they're just not motivated. So it's all about money, and like there's nothing you can do about those. But you had the right property, they're just not motivated. Now, I would put them in a follow-up because most likely they're going to put it on the market and it's going to suffer on the market. It's going to be on 3 months with multiple price reductions. And that's sometimes when you can just backdoor the seller and go, listen, remember when we met and I told you, like, are you open to having a conversation with me at that point? Because at that point, I just ignore the realtors because they're just taking the listing. They know they're going to drop the price eventually, and then the seller's going to get paid. That the realtors are going to get their money. But listen, dude, it happens all the time to us. Like, don't like lose sleep over it. Like, you had the right property, they're just crazy. And honestly, a lot of times when you get multiple owners on probates, one will be extremely reasonable and one will be irrational. It's hard. Yeah. And then you can't convince that other person. You have to get the person that's on your side to convince the other family member because you're never going to be able to do it. So I've waited up to 4 years for a property just like the one you're talking about. If you're telling me it's that outdated and they put it on the market, I always tell them, I go, either just fix it up or keep the property. Like you can't do, listen, when it comes to putting a property on the market, either take it all the way home or sell it as is. And I tell the seller, the worst thing you can do is get caught in the middle. Because if you put 20, 30 grand into it and put it on MLS, they're going to expect you to finish it and then you're going to be stuck. Yeah. And so think about what you want at the end of the day. But if they don't want a quick sale and they don't want it super convenient, don't lose sleep about it, dude. It happens to me all the time. Right. It's okay. You give it a shot and hopefully there's some reasoning with it. But put it on a follow-up list because I think they're going to wind up probably listing that on the market. Yeah. And
just wait till it expires or something.
Yeah. So here's the only thing I do on probates. I always tell them, I go, listen, if you want to list it, that's fine. Take a swing at it. Mm-hmm. But remember, you might not like the feedback you get because once you put it on the market, so say they put it on the market at 240 and nobody wants any of it, that means they're way off. Yeah. And now you have proof in the pudding. But by the way, also when someone says they got an appraisal, you're usually not in a good position. Just so you know. You know what an appraisal is, right?
It's for a mortgage, so
It's just a permission slip.
yeah.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
The only, you know why I know appraisals are complete crap? Because they just want to make sure someone's being responsible to the bank that's giving out the loan. But the reality is most appraisers, almost every one of them come within 5 to 10% of the sales price. And you know what every appraisal has with it? They have a copy of the contract. My friends are appraisers. They tell me, they go, we just look at the contract price. And if we go in and there's nothing crazy in the house, whatever the contract price is what the appraisal price is.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Right. Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. So when you hear the word appraisal, or like once they start talking realtor, sometimes I'll just switch. I go, listen, if you want to list it, here's what I do. I would get the whole thing fixed up. You probably get done for like $100,000 and put it on the market and take the first offer that comes by in 30 days. Mm-hmm. And they're like, really? You think that's a good idea? I'm like, well, one day they go, well, I don't have $100,000 to fix it up. I go, okay, well then put it on the market at 240 and don't negotiate, and tell the realtor they got 30 days. In any negotiation, tell the realtor it's got to come out of their commission. Right. And realtors get ticked when I say that, but it's irresponsible realtors to say they're going to sell for that. They know it's never going to sell for that price.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I also say, hey, listen, do you want to sell it? Do you want to list it, or do you want to sell it? Mm-hmm. And so the only thing you can do right there is basically, Ben, is try to listen to their backstory when they first call you. And sometimes if it doesn't match up to what they told you originally, like, listen, we just want to sell it as is. I like the word fair price, but like when they start talking about like unrealistic prices and laughing at you, just move on. Nothing's gonna happen with it. And then just see if it's on the market after 30 days and reach out to the seller. And all of a sudden, and here's your comeback to them. I was the guy that told you the truth.
Right. Yeah.
So I told you all that stuff would go on. Let's focus on what we can get you in your pocket right now if you still want to move forward. And if they don't, just let the market do its damage and go from there. I've actually bought properties like this, have them sit on the market for a year. And then I go through my own realty company, which is my wife's. And then I get the 6% commission back, and I get a deep discount because they're so stupid how they listed the property. And I love doing that too, but those are like freak deals. And it takes a really dumb seller and a dumb realtor to take advantage of that situation. So, but there's nothing to do, Ben. You did exactly what I would do. So, like, just move past it, put them in your follow-up. That is what it is. Okay. So you got an experience to meet with the seller. The property is motivated. The sellers aren't. So all you can do is let time and circumstance change for them in the long run. Yeah. So the market's brutal, these people, man. They're brutal. They're like, are you going to fix it up? What are you going to, and everybody's going to come in with a lowball offer. Right. So, and then you can even submit a lowball offer and stick a realtor on there, but I would just wait. So it's frustrating, but you try to snuff them out. So always look at the story of what the seller wants to accomplish. Everybody wants to get rid of property fast. And if you just key on that, it's not going to help you. Listen to the words they say. So if they say appraisal and stuff like that up front, it's like, oh, Lord. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, were you getting a bank loan on it? I didn't understand that. So, so don't worry about it, man. Just go out and find another motivated seller and watch. That property will be around in the fall for sure. Yeah, probably. So by the way, in our office, we have an electronic board with like 36 MLS properties that we contacted originally as a motivated seller, and then they went and listed with a realtor. And then I have one person in my company that's all they do is chase that stuff down. Okay. And they get like 1 or 2 deals here and there. But it just show you how slim of odds they are to get them. It's that painful. Oh gosh. But when you talk about not updating a property in 50 years, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb on the market. Oh yeah. So, okay. Anything else, bud? Don't worry about it. Like, it happens. Yeah. All you can do is go up and you swing, dude. And if you strike out, you just move on and go, okay, here we go. Yeah. You're going to strike out more than you hit a home run in this business. Yeah. Like, don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. The only time you really screw up is when you don't show up to these appointments because you assume they're not going to give you a good deal. So I would have shown up on that one. Now, if it wasn't a probate and they talking about appraisal and they were talking about listing with a realtor, I probably wouldn't go. Yeah. When I hear probate 50 years outdated, I'm all in. Right. They weren't living in the property, were they? I mean, not so. One of the brothers kind of lived there, and he also lives with his girlfriend, but not really. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Don't worry about it, man. Shake it off. Just go find another one. They're not all like that, I promise you. Right. But when you find the right one, you'll know. You'll be there. You'll go through the exact same procedure you just went through. So. Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Don't worry about it, Ben. You got it.